we've seen her feature in the Women's Premier League for Gujarat Giants, and also we've seen her in 100 as well.
Do you think they can provide a surprise element? You said about what Maqsood can do. Similarly, somebody like Kathryn Bryce, Fraser as well, she can provide the same. Definitely an off break, but in conditions like Sharjah, she can.
And you don't know some of the players and what their true capabilities are. They can stun you if you lower your guard.
It's the final team we are going to discuss about in the T20 World Cup 2024 for the women's at the UAE. I have a new guest. I have Darcey with me. Darcey, welcome to the show. Wonderful to have you part of the Fifth Number family. And we start things proceeding with the Scotland women team. Somebody you think can surprise in the T20 World Cup 2024 in conditions like UAE?
Definitely, they are in with a chance. I mean, they are pumped up. In the past 12 months, their record in white ball format has been very phenomenal, like considering T20 and the ODI format. They've been really good, and they're the first, they're the only associate team to feature in this year's T20 Women's World Cup. So this will act as a much needed confidence boost for them. And it's the maiden World Cup appearance, so it's a huge opportunity for them. And they have a very phenomenal T20 record. Like their win percentage is, I was checking, it's pretty much close to 60%. They've played 59 matches, and they've won 35 of them, which is really good. Although most of those matches were against the weaker teams, the associate nations, but they still have they have some credible experience. They've played a few matches before entering this World Cup. My only concern is that they've not played a lot of cricket against full member nations. Okay, they've only played against Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe, and Bangladesh, and they've not been so successful. They've been successful against Zimbabwe, but not so much against Sri Lanka and what's the other team I forgot? Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. They're yet to open their account against them. But against the other, associate nations, they've done well in the past 12 months. Even the qualifier they played in UAE, they know the conditions very well. They know what to expect. These conditions are not alien to them, and they've got some good spinners in their lineup. You've got Abtaha.
That's where we'll come and talk about the squad in depth. But you've said mostly about Scotland, and I think the challenge now that will be coming when they face the bigger teams, as just like you mentioned, they have faced Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, but when they go on to face somebody like South Africa or the West Indies who are in the group, I think that's where will be the challenge. And starting proceedings with the captain herself, Kathryn Bryce, what are your takes? Experienced candidate, bats at the top of the order, skipper herself. What does she bring to the table when it comes to Scotland women's side?
I think she's got all bases covered. She's very gifted with the bat and with the ball. And, whenever her team will be in some sort of a crisis, she can save the day with the bat and with the ball. And she's got some phenomenal numbers to her name. I think she's the second highest run scorer for Scotland, in T20I format. And, she has a wealth of international experience. Like we've seen her feature in the Women's Premier League for Gujarat Giants. And also we've seen her in 100 as well. So she has shoulders with some of the best in the business. Okay, and team expects a lot from her, and she can lead from the front. And even with the ball, like she's very potent with her swing bowling. She has got those sharp in swingers, and I think she's played considerable amount of cricket in UAE, and she's also registered some match winning performances with the ball in UAE. I think it was 3 for. I'll have to check over. Yeah, it was 4 for 8. 4 for 8 were her figures with the ball.
Excellent figures, I must tell you.
And 10 50s to her name in the T20 format, averaging almost 40. So yeah, I mean she's got the experience, she's got the numbers under her belt, and she looks very poised to lead her side.
True that, and also now lately she has been in form as well, which could be crucial for Scotland moving into the big tournament, the ICC tournament at the World Cup. But we spoke about one of the Bryce. Move on to the vice captain as well, Sarah Bryce herself. Wicket keeping duties she's doing nowadays. So what do you expect her to do now? Because she is now the vice captain of the side, alongside somebody like the skipper herself, Kathryn Bryce. What are you expecting these two duo to take Scotland to one of the new heights?
So I think when it comes to run scoring, a lot will depend on Kathryn and and Sarah Bryce. Sarah Bryce, obviously, when we talk about leading run getters for Scotland in the T20I format, these two names will always come at the top. And Sarah Bryce is the highest run getter for Scotland. She has she's played overseas. She's played at the 100.
Hmm?
She's got a few match-winning performances under her
Yep.
belt, and I think she just has to complement Kathryn Bryce's good work,
True that.
and she has to just continue churning the runs. And I think yesterday there was a warm-up match
Yeah.
between Scotland and Pakistan where she made a very sizable contribution with the bat. I think it was Kathryn Bryce. I think Sarah also played a supporting role, I would say, in that match. So we got to see some glimpses of what she can achieve. So yeah, and these conditions. I mean, they played the qualifier, and they have a fair bit of idea as to how the
Correct.
pitches can work and how to sort of apply yourself on pitches like these. So she will definitely look to better her current record, which is obviously like good to say the
Absolutely.
least. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's where I think they already have played, as you mentioned in the warm-up game. They have more coming up before the tournament. But somebody at those conditions, you need the spinners to come into play as well. That's where the eye will be on all the teams. But when it comes to spinners for Scotland as well, I think Maqsood and Fraser are the two quality spinners to lead the ranks for somebody like a Scotland. How much are you banking them to take the bulk of the wickets when it comes to Scotland women?
So yeah, I think Atava Maqsood is right at the top when it comes. She's the highest wicket taker for Scotland in T20I, and she has been in really good form. Like in UAE, like they've played the qualifiers where she I think registered a best score of 3 for 8 against Uganda, and she was amongst the top 5 wicket takers. I'm talking about Atava Abtaha Maqsood. Beg your pardon. She was in the top 5 wicket takers
Yep.
for that
Yep.
tournament, and even prior to the qualifiers, they played a tri series in UAE, and she batted career best figures of 4 for 30 against USA. So spin will play a key role, and Abtaha has already made an impact. She's made a name for herself on these pitches, and especially the pitch in Sharjah. It tends to be a
Yep.
lot on the slower side, and
Absolutely.
Scotland has a games at that venue, scheduled at that venue. And leg spin is a very rare art, and the way she's been bowling, her current form is pretty threatening. And since and the thing with these associate nations is teams. There's always an element of what do you say? Element, a surprise element. A surprise element
Absolutely.
because
That's
they've
what I,
not
I
played.
asked at the beginning of the show as well. Do you think they
Yes.
can provide a surprise element? You said about what Maqsood can do. Similarly, somebody like a Kathryn Fraser as well, she can provide the same, definitely an off
Mm,
break, but
yeah.
in conditions like Sharjah, she can be lethal too.
Yeah, because see, many teams have not faced, the likes of Maqsood and Kathryn Fraser, so they don't know what to expect. And we've seen that in World Cups that teams, bigger teams, often take smaller teams lightly, and then they have to pay the price. We have seen that
Absolutely.
Pakistan versus USA, how they were humiliated, and even Bangladesh versus Netherlands ODI World Cup last year. So since you've not played a lot of cricket against these nations, and you don't know some of the players and what their true capabilities are, they can stun you if you lower your guard. Okay,
Absolutely.
so Catherine Fraser, yes, she's also amongst the wickets. Probably not as potent as Abtaha Maqsood, but she can leave an impact with the ball. She has a four to her name, and yeah, she bowls with a lot of control. And hopefully, these conditions in UAE are just about perfect for them to leave an impact.
Absolutely, and that's where I was coming to because the conditions in UAE, and especially you mentioned about Sharjah, that will assist them as well. But talking about the Group B, we said a lot of times Group A. I think the theme is a group of death where India is poised. But Group B out here, the opponents for Scotland will be Bangladesh, West Indies, South Africa, and England. Not an easy group, but as you said, they can provide an surprise element in this group as well. Somebody like a Bangladesh and West Indies, especially, can they manage to get the two important points against these sides?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite difficult because they've not opened their account against West Indies, South Africa, and England. They've not faced them. They've faced
Correct. That's
Bangladesh.
correct.
They've not had any success. Three matches, three defeats on the trot. But look, Bangladesh is susceptible. They should look to play their A game and hopefully get past them. Looking at teams like West Indies, South Africa, England, I would say Scotland has very slim chance. Unfortunately, West Indies, they have been T20 World Cup champions once. England, they've not been champions, but they've come very close to winning the title
Absolutely.
on two occasions. And South Africa, well, they are highly experienced, they're versatile, they've got a lot of depth in their lineup. So the thing with Scotland is they've got the talent, they've got the all-rounders, the spinners, some batters like the two Bs we talked about, Bryce, Kathryn Bryce, and Sarah Bryce. A lot depends on their shoulders. They're the mainstay of Scotland lineup, but they'll be up against some really good talent. They'll be up against the best. So getting
True that.
past West Indies, South Africa, and England would be hard. But in World Cup, every team is even Stevens. Every team has an opportunity.
Anything
If you
is possible in the game of cricket, I must tell you. So, absolutely possible. But talking about the players to watch out for, we've discussed mostly about these two players. So, both the Bryce, I think they are no brainers. And the third one, I think, is going to be Abtaha Maqsood, according to me. Any changes for
correct,
you?
correct. Yeah, I think two Bs and obviously Abtaha. And I would also be interested to seeing Ailsa Lister. One thing which really stood out to me was her strike rate, which is by far the best for any Scotland woman batter. Like her strike rate is around 140. And in this
Okay.
format, in this T20 format, you need someone who can play the big shots. You need someone who can
True
accelerate
that.
if you get to a sedated.
In the middle
Uh,
order, especially.
Yes. So she can be a very powerful element in their batting lineup, and like some of her best innings, although it came against weaker teams like against France and Italy, she's got a few 50 plus scores, and the strike rate at which she got those scores, it was mind-boggling. It was like
Absolutely.
160, 170, and you don't see such kind of strike rates in women's cricket
In
that
women's
often.
cricket. Absolutely.
So yeah, so I would be looking forward to seeing her on the field
Okay, so
or
you've given
playing.
your fourth pick, that is Ailsa Lister. Fair enough. Talking about the predicted playing 11, the three man, this is mine. I think players pick themselves more or less for Scotland. Saskia Harley, Sarah Breeze are the openers, Kathryn Breeze at number three, Megan McColl, and then you have Darcey Carter, Priyanka Chatterjee, Priyansh Chatterjee, I'm sorry. Then you have Ailsa Lister is there, Lorna Jack Brown is there, then you have Fraser, Maqsood, and then Call Abel. I think players pick themselves 11, settled 11 with the combination of spinners and pacers. Are you going with the same 11 as well?
Yes, more or less. Emphasis would be on spin because of the conditions that are on offer, especially in Sharjah. Spin is the way to go. I think they should go with, in my opinion, two frontline spinners. I think Abtaha is one, and then they can go with Olivia Bell. And then they can have the services of a part-time spinner, someone like Saskia Horley, who can roll her arm over, and they should have a one
Mhm.
frontline seamer. It could be Hannah Rainey, and then obviously they've got
Okay,
two seam bowling all-rounders. They can go with two seam bowling
absolutely.
all-rounders like Kathryn Bryce. Then you've got Megan McColl, who's also a very handy option with the ball. She has a few wickets, I think 15 wickets, 15 T20I wickets in very few matches. Her record is quite exceptional with the ball. Saskia, I think she is very, very, like with the bat, she's doing really well. I think in ODI format, her average is all the way up to 70. In the T20 format, it's less, slightly less, but she's still very capable with the bat. I would want to see how she performs with the ball because, in the T20I format, she's just got three wickets in seven matches. It can be, she can better that, and those figures can improve. And I think World Cup is an opportunity, a platform for them to work on these numbers.
Absolutely, and yes, that's the biggest platform for them. They're going to play some bigger teams in the ICC events. Anything can be possible. It would be harsh if I ask you the question of whether they will make it to the semis or not. I think the fair question for you would be, how many wins are you expecting Scotland in the T20 World Cup?
Um, I would say two.
2, and I
Maybe
know the
maybe
opponents you're going to eye towards, and so fair enough. 2 is the maximum you're expecting Scotland. Let's hope they perform well. Let's hope they provide the surprise package in Sharjah as well. Thank you so much, Datrim. Thank you for covering the news,
it's my pleasure.
Scotland women's team and a squad analysis. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this one. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. The T20 World Cup 2024 for the women's is just on the cards. Sit back and enjoy. Thank you so much, and bye bye.
Thank you, Preetham. See you